Hey, hi all. Good evening. Hope that I'm audible. I can see very less count today. Is there any festival today also? I think in the testing batch they have put. Let me just keep a quick message in the development group also. Okay, I have got the message saying that okay, 2 days recording has not been received. Okay, I think one day there was a problem with the recording. That is, I have saved in my system only that I'll be sharing it. But the other day, it is in the cloud recording only. I think Ashusa should be sharing it. No, okay, I'll just keep a message to him. He'll be sharing. Need not worry. Okay, yeah, they are joining. So, how was your weekend? I'm asking you people only. You should respond. Good, bad, average. Shashi is always with the query weekend. Okay. I think he'll be the one who will score more marks in SQL if it is asked in the interview, I guess. So even weekends he's not leaving. He's studying a lot. Okay. Okay, that's great. It was good means if it is not good, make the next weekend more good than that. So I think it should be good because it was weekend, and I think most of you will be spending your time with your family, your friends, or with your mobile phones, whatever it is. So whatever you spend, that is what I told. Spend it 100%. This is what I would say for every situation. That is what I can conclude here. Okay, yeah, coming to the session, we have understood about basic knowledge about the functions. Like there are two types of functions: single row function, multiple row function. Whatever notes I have forwarded, just treat this way. Whatever I have discussed are major concerns. Means 90% they'll be asked in the interview. Whatever I have given it as an assignment, as a notes, other than the interview questions, they are like they might be asked in the interview. Just 1% a chance. That's it. Okay. I have received one message from one of your friend saying that date functions to be discussed. See, date functions are very much easy. As the name indicates, it performs the activity. Okay, but being a fresher, will they be asked date functions to you? I would tell no, 100% no. They'll not be asking you the date function. Rather, they'll keep a question like this. They would have written a query. You have to predict an output. Okay, so that kind of query would be asked. That is the reason I have put maybe that kind of questions they are asking you. I have mentioned that clearly what kind of questions they'll be asking you in the interview. That also I have mentioned. And whatever questions I have given are the questions asked in the interview. Okay. So yeah, still we'll be having a question. I majorly want to conclude this joins and the clauses and also subqueries. Once we conclude this, functions, joins, along with that the subqueries put together, you will be writing one query which will be having 3 operators, 4 operators, 5 functions within that. That is how you have to learn. So all these are basic knowledge to build up that kind of question. Okay, so remember that. So coming back to the clauses. So today let us understand the clauses. So let me share the screen. Just give me a minute. Yes, coming to the clauses. What are these clauses? You have already seen, I think the screen is visible to all, the notepad screen. Yeah, so we have understood about the few clauses already. What are those few clauses or statements, select clauses? I think you remember We have in almost in all the queries, we say this. Select. We also have used where, correct? So where do we use this select? What is the purpose of select? Now I have not given the statement like what is the select clause and all, but the examples which we have seen, seeing that, can you tell me what is the use of select? Good, Kiran. Others, I want others to respond. Why we use a select statement to fetch out? uh, yeah, exactly, good. So we have a set of data, or we call it as a database, which consists of lot of information inside that, a lot of data inside that. So whenever we want to retrieve, fetch some value, not all, like even all the data also we can fetch in, or if in case we have to fetch few data from that or all the data from that, directly I cannot tell give me the output, give me the these data. So for a database, I should speak in database language only, which is a query language, which in that we have to be telling select statement in order to fetch out that particular data. Again, we have the where clause. When do we use where clause? Quickly, I want quick response from all. Yes, wherever there is a restriction that a certain output I should be printing it, not everything, on a certain condition. Whenever the salary is greater than 30,000, whenever the salary is less than 40,000, or something like maybe the name is equals to particular first name, where the first name is equals to Sachin, like that, whatever the restricted information they ask in the question, uh, instead of printing every data in that column, I want to restrict a particular data there. So then we can put that conditions using the where clause. So where clause, basically whenever we have to put a condition, we use that. Okay. So having that understanding of select and where, I don't think so you should buy out the definitions. Whatever you have understood now, whatever the information you are putting it here, right? Same thing if you convey in the interview, more than sufficient. So along with that, we have certain other information also. So certain other clauses like order by. So we have the order by clause. So as the name indicates, can you just tell me what is the use of order? Very good. Sorting. If you see the output of data, let me just go to queries, commands, where I can execute. Okay, I stop sharing. Yeah. So now, if I just tell select star from employees, you can notice it is printing in the order which I have inserted the data. You may tell, ma'am, it is in the order only. See the employee ID, everything is in order. See, it's not about the order which it is printing in. It is printing in the order which I have added the data. Let me just re-execute. Now you can notice at the end, I have added up the data 19 first, 18 at the last, before that 20. Means after 17, I have added 19, 20, then the 18th row. Correct? So what is happening now? In whatever order I have added the data, the values are print in that way. So it is not all in all the case that I have to be printing in this way. There would be a situation where I have to print it in a certain order. It could be ascending, it could be descending, it could be alphabetical, that is ascending or descending. But it depends on the requirement. So whenever the requirement arises that I have to be fetching out such details in some orders, we go with the order by clause. So as the name indicates, what does it perform? It performs a sorting operation. In which order? Either in the ascending or in descending. It is up to us. By default, it is in ascending order. No, ma'am, we want to print it in a descending order. Yes, that is also permitted. How to print it? Let me take one simple example. I'll just tell, select a first name select first name from employees. Select first name from employees, and all this employees first name, if you see, they are in the random orders which we have given, correct? So let me just order that. So I'll tell, need not give any condition. There is nothing like that. You have to be giving a condition there. In the question, there isn't requirement of condition. Then I have to be going for that. I have not put any condition here. I'm just asking to print the first name in a ascending order. So I can say order by the clause order by, you can write it in any cases, order by this. So like this, I'll tell. After that, what is that I need to order? I need to order the first name. That is all I'll tell. Nothing much after that. If you don't tell, I told you, by default is an ascending order. Please observe. Brown, Daniel, Jennifer, John, all these are what? It starts from B and it goes on in a alphabetical order. No, ma'am, I want to inform it to be in ascending. See, by default is doing. Then no, I am not happy. I want to tell. So you can use this keyword, statement there saying ASC, which means ascending. This is optional. If you don't give, or if you give it as ASC, it performs in ascending order. If you don't give also, it performs in ascending order only. Suppose, sorry. So if I give it as ASC, then it performs same thing. That is the reason I told it is optional. Upon that, I would now tell, now I don't want in ascending, I want in the descending order. So if in case I want in the descending order, I'll tell DSC. So if I just run, you can notice the data have been given in the descending order. Okay. So having this understanding, basic understanding, if they are asking you in the interview, don't expect the question like this. They'll be giving you this way. As I said, the multiple operators, functions, and the clauses, they'll mix up. Okay. But to generalize the things here, I would like to put up one question. Suppose if there is a query asked to print all names, maybe I'll tell first name in ascending order, and the last name in the descending order. So the question is very simple. I have to be printing out the data now, where the first name should be in the ascending and the last name should be in the descending. So how do we write it? Please observe for this kind of statement, maybe in the face-to-face interview, they'll ask you just to know whether you know the things here or not. So I'll tell, please print first name. Not only first name, I have to print the last name. Okay, without using subquery, I'm writing the basic query, nothing much included there. Rather, I'm just using the order by clause. Try to understand. From which table? From employees table. Upon that, I should be ordering now. So I'll tell order by first name. That is what they have asked. First name, ascending. After that, there only I cannot stop. I have to give one more set of instruction. Not only this, along with this, you please include the last name, but not last name directly, rather it should be in the descending. This is what I would tell. Okay. So if I say this one, what you people will be now thinking, oh, names will be in ascending. The first name will be in the ascending order. The last name will be in the descending order. If that is so, let me just go to the table here. Assume that the first names are in ascending order. The first name which would be printed is Daniel, correct? Agree? If it is in ascending, the first name, then the Daniel is the first name which will be printed. Sorry, Brown, good, okay, B. Yeah, Brown will be printed first. If that is the case, then what should be the last name? If I am asking for the descending, we have W, any name Z. So we like that conclusion we have, right? Whichever the last alphabet we have, that particular name will be there. That is where the important understanding which we should know. For this first name, if the different or the other last name is attached, don't you think there is a lot of data mismatch? What they are asking, yes, it is fine. If there is no relationship between those columns, again, the concept of two different tables. In the two different table, first table A, whatever we have inside that, column 1 ascending, table B, column 1 descending, that we can still perform. Okay, that is a different concept altogether. Now in single table, and we have two columns which are dependent. See, first name, last name should be together, their own names they should be getting. I cannot interchange the information there. So what will happen is, please observe, whatever I have given first, according to that it works. So just pay attention. So Brown is the name which I have got it. Along with that, Brown, Richards, Daniel, King. So for Brown, what is the last name? Richards. Even though I told descending, the second parameter which I have, that will not be having any value here, since it is a same table. If that is also performed here, then the data mismatch will be there. For whomsoever name, the different last name will be arising. There is a reason. Okay, I would interchange that. Maybe I would put this last name first. Like this. So what I'm expecting now, first the last name should be printed. I mean, that should be taken care in the descending, then the ascending. Whether they print in the first name, see, whatever order I have, that is the order. But to whom I have given the order here, order by last name is the first information. So first name only will be printed first in the column, because representing who is doing select statement. But what is the ordering I have given? Last name in the descending. Whatever I have written after that of the same table, then that will have no scope. I mean, no scope here. Rather, it will just follow the names order. Williams, the first name is this. Valen, the first name is Jennifer. Vargas, the Peter. Like that it goes on. This is the basic understanding which you should know. I know whenever they say order by, very easy, ma'am, just first name ascending, then descending. It's very easy to keep the keywords there, but the questions like this will be asked, so you should know how to deal with them. This is one way they can ask you the question. So don't expect this kind, but you should know what are the clauses and what are the statements we will be using for that, keywords for that. Okay, so I hope this should be clear. Again, I don't think so we should be certain by art the definition here in the session. However, the notes will be shared, you can just go through that. Even if there is no definition, by your own sentence you can frame it and tell order by means what, easily you can define over there. Okay, yeah, having this understanding, let us move on with one more important. Okay, let me just quickly frame one more question so that you can okay, I'll first introduce one more clause, then I can say it. Okay, uh, let us go to this particular table. Now if you notice here, we have a department IDs. Okay, we have a department IDs like this: 90, then 60, 50. The day we have seen, right, when we have to print values, the distinct values, we have the distinct operator there, keyword there. If we include that, we get the unique values of department ID. So by that you got an understanding how many departments we have, correct? All if you remember the distinct, yeah. So having that understanding, what I wanted to know now is, suppose we have 90 as a department. Maybe I'll just picturize it so that the question will be clear to all. Let me just open Paint. Yeah, we have a different departments. Maybe assume this is one department, this is another department, this is another department, like this. Only three I'll assume. Department ID 90, department ID 60, department ID 50. Like this, different IDs I'll consider. Inside this, there are many employees. It could be more than one employees, or only one employees, or zero employees, depends. Here more than one, here equal to one, or more than one, like this. It depends there. Okay. When we have the in department IDs like this, assume in this department ID, there are employees who is earning 60,000, who is earning 50,000, who is earning 5,000 also. Similar to that, I'll consider here 7,000, then 17,000, then 19,000, then 25,000. Different employees, different salary. Okay. Same way in the department ID 50, assume there is an employee who is getting 80,000, who is getting 12,000, who is getting 10,000, like this. Different employees and their own salaries differs like this. Now, if I have to print only salary, it was very easy for me. I would have went through this my particular table. I would have told, please select salary, and from where? From employee, and print it. So as expected, it will print all the salaries of all the employees, correct? But assume that if I tell, please give me such salary, which is I can say largest salary, who is getting the largest salary, or print a largest salary among the employees. So we have aggregate functions, multi-row functions. What is that I have to use if I have to get the largest number? Very good. So I have to be using a max function. Then I'll tell, please print salary, or employee name. If they ask, you can just tell, select first name, employee, where, sorry, here only we can tell. So max salary. Directly I would ask it. Okay. I think we have to be fetching out using where clause. Let me verify, because it's aggregate function. So we are getting it, but whatever we wanted based on that, if it is a direct name, then where max salary, where if we are going for where clause, then we have to give certain condition. So when we say where maximum salary is only one LHS side, for that some comparison we should be giving, where max salary is equals to 30,000, that employees details only we should be printing. Like that, some comparison, the conditional statement if we give, where statement will work. But if in case only one LHS side, it will not work. Okay, still you can use it. And aggregate function, I don't think so you can use it in the where clause. No, max and other min, all this in the where clause directly, we are not able to use it. Please try out to get to know about. I think I have given one note in the multiple row function. Okay, so come back. So our point is not about it. So whenever we want the information of maximum salary, we will tell this much. But if in case I have to fetch out a maximum salary in each department ID, or in each department, so all salaries here, maximum salary will be printed. Now I want to fetch out such information which is the highest salary. Now look towards the 90, which is the highest salary. Can I tell it is 60, Same way, in the 60 ID, which is the highest salary, 25,000. In the 50 ID, it is 80,000. So now the question is like this. They are not asking you individual value of like comparing all of this and fetch out one value. No, if that was the case, we would have gone for this second statement. Now the question is what? I have to print largest salary in each department. So now what I have to do? I have to make this groups. All these employees are belonging to 90. All these employees are belonging to 60. All these employees are belonging to 50. Like this, when I make out the group, then I can fetch out the value based on that. So maybe I will now have to tell, please give me what value I have to give maximum salary from where? From employees as usual, but not directly. I should be informing that I want the such employee salary based on the group, based on the department IDs. So that is how I have to be telling it. How to tell? Just a minute. How to tell? We have one more clause, that is group by. On what basis I have to group? I have to group on the basis of department ID. Getting it? Yes. Why we have to use group by? Did you understand? Query, you leave it. Query, how you will understand. But the understanding of question you need to know so that you can apply wherever it is necessary. Same thing, I'll just copy. I'll go to my table. Command line, then I'll just print that information. I'll run. Somewhere department ID. Okay, that column is not there. Department ID. Is that the name correct? Department ID, correct. So I'll tell group by this information. So you can notice we have the information. We have, or maybe we are having 7 more departments, and in each 7 departments, these are the largest salary. Okay, highest salary in each department. So you should be able to write it. Okay, most of the cases they ask in this way. They give you a scenario. Suppose there is a Swiggy application which we have. In that application there is a customer A, customer B, customer C. Customer A will order this item these many times. Customer B will order these items these many times. Then the customer C will order these items and these many times. So then we should be finding out who have ordered one particular name, maybe they'll tell burger, how many times, or who is the largest highest time purchased this order. So that is what we need to find out. So that time I need to group by customers, and then particularly based on that item I have to be retrieving it. So I'm just giving you a hint how it would be. Okay, how to print this with the department ID? Simple. I'll just tell department ID first, the aggregate function, then I have to be printing out the department. Got it? You want to print a name also, purpose that we have, you can just put the comma and you can give the information. Okay, so basically we need to understand how to retrieve a data here. Now suppose assume that one table is there which have the age column, which have the marks column, like this. Many data are there, name column, like that. Out of it, assume it is a student table. Okay, now the question is something like this. Write a query to display age, age, and also the least marks scored by the unique aged student from the table student. So assume that there is a table called as student. In that there is a many columns, out of which there is a marks and age. What is that they are asking? Now we should be printing out such information of minimum marks, that is least marks, and also age. Not all the age. I should be printing out unique age. Means there would be 25 years, 26 years, 27 years, multiple students will be there. But now I should be printing out one such age, like 22 is one age, and that is the only one student who is having, and he is, I mean, their own least marks. Like that I should be printing. What is the query? I can write it. Think. 25 is the age which I have told. It could be anything. Age, I should not be giving it here because they didn't tell 25. That is the example which I have given. Age is the only the term which they have given. So I should tell my machine to do that. So I can tell select. What is that I have to be printing? I want to be printing the minimum marks. Okay. Not only that, I should be printing the age also. From which table? From student table. But simply I cannot print because there would be n number of students who will be having age of 22, and with the age of 22 there would be least marks. With the age of 25 there would be least marks. With the age of 21 there would be least marks. So what I would do, I would group them. Group by what? Group by age, I would tell. So unique aged student. So it doesn't mean that, the question is not in this way, 21 unique value, only one age student, that value or that least. No, not like that. Because you cannot expect, because when we say only one student is there with the age of 21, and he will be scoring more or he will be scoring less, but only one marks will be there. So what they are asking is 21 students you consider whose marks is least. That is the way of asking the question here. Okay. So if I now just, I'll not get the data because I don't have the table and all, but the query should be correct. Okay. Yeah. So this is one question. Maybe like this, you can also consider that they might ask you for the gender. We need to be printing the gender and the least marks scored by a gender student from the table, like any of a student table only based on gender they might ask, because female male will be there. So now based in a female who is a least scorer, in a male who is a least scorer, or the highest scorer, like that they might ask you the question. Okay. So in the most of the group by basic question, this is how they'll ask you. Okay. Yeah, having this information, maybe I'll put on one more quick question where you can input up one condition there. So I'll just tell write a query. Maybe I'll tell to display age and also count of the age for all the students whose age is equal to 21 from the table. So what they're asking, we need to be printing out the age, not only age, the count of age. Okay, means how many students are there, the count. Along with that, I should be checking out only such students whose age is equal to 21. Now comes the verification, the condition check. So whenever this kind of arises, the question arises, we should know how to write the clauses orders. For that also we have a certain order, right? So first we write the select statement, then we write the from, then we put up the where clause. Where is always after from. Then we write the group by. Then we write the having. I'll discuss having. Then we write the order by. This is how it goes on. Okay. So do remember this order. I'll give the notes. You need not worry. First understand how, where, what is the use of that. So now we have to be writing up all these statements. So I'll just tell what is that I need to select. I need to count the age. So I'll tell count age. And I should be printing the age also. From which table? From student table. And where? What is the age? Age, see conditional statement. I should be putting up. Age is equals to 21. Now, simply I cannot tell because I have a different age candidates there. Now within 21, I have to be merging up means then I have to make a group because we have a number of students of different ages there. Okay, so I'll tell group by age. This is how we should be mentioning it out. Without grouping, we cannot, sometimes you will get this kind of query. Suppose I'll go back to my question. I'll now tell, I'll not mention this group by. I'll just execute this. Without telling group by, I'm asking max salary and department ID. Can you see? You are asking maximum salary you gave and also the department ID, because department IDs are like for 90 we have 3 maximum value. A different value. Oh, which one to print? For 20 I have a different value. Which one to print? Like this it is confused. So when we have a multiple departments, then based on that first you group, then you give the maximum salary. So then that is the reason we have to group. The same applies here. We should be telling that information here. Okay. So having all this information, I said you that when you are using a where clause, suppose here only, I'll tell you print salary and I'll tell where maximum. You are all are using the statement that is multiple row function here in the where clause. If you try to use like this, please observe the error message. Group function is not allowed here. In other words, forget about that Oracle error message there. You cannot use this max salary, min salary, count, all this in the where clause. In other words, I can say max, min, average, all these are also called as aggregate function. These functions cannot be written in the where clause. Remember, somewhere in your notes in the top, you can just make it as a important interview question or as a note that max, min, average, count, sum, all these are the multiple row function which cannot be or maybe tell it as aggregate function which cannot be used on the where clause. I have also given this in the notes, so you can just highlight when you're reading it. Okay, so in such situation where we cannot use this max min in the where clause, we will use something called as having by. Instead of telling it here, we will start framing it in our having clause. Okay. For example, maybe I would tell the question is something like this. You'll understand with this question. Write a query to print. Write a query to print department ID who is getting highest salary, which is greater than 30,000 based on department ID. So now what I should do? Firstly, I have to group the ID, that is department ID. Upon that, I should check the highest salary. Upon that, one more condition, that highest salary, whatever based on groups we are checking, should be greater than 30,000. That highest salaries only we should consider. That is the question they are asking it here. Okay. So I would now tell select what is that I have to be considering. I have to be considering the highest salary. So first only I'll give that condition. Please give me a maximum salary and also a department ID. So let me consider that also. From where? From employees. And I would now mention what is the condition I have to be telling it here. I have to be telling it that I should give such information where the salary should be greater than 30,000. So before I tell all this, don't you think I have to group this information, that is the department ID, because we have a different group, this one department. So I'll tell department ID should be grouped. This is how I would tell. Now, since I cannot tell maximum of salary, whatever I'm getting in the where clause, so I cannot tell this way. Just now I have explained. Out of this, whatever I'm getting, please give me highest salary which is more than the 30,000. This I cannot tell because this is aggregate function which I cannot be using in a where clause. So only we can go with the having clause where I can now put up that same statement that give me the salary which is greater than 30,000. This is how I would tell. Mainly why we are using the having clause there, because this aggregate function we are not able to use in the where clause. That's not a rule. Okay, that is a reason we are alternatively going with the having, and that having should be the statement after group by. Okay, so I'll just run that. We can see we have a 50 department ID and 80 department ID who are getting a maximum salary which is more than 30,000. Now we are grouping also. Upon that we are having what? Condition also. So then I have gone through this maximum salary who is having more than 30,000. Ma'am, if there is a question which is not using maximum salary or the something like aggregate function, can we go with the where clause? If they are simply asking please print the salary which is greater than 30,000, you can still go with the where clause. But now highest salary, upon that highest salary which is greater than 30,000, so I have to be going with this kind of way writing the query. Okay, so sometimes they'll ask you this question, what is the use of where clause and having clause? Why we have to go with where clause, or why we have to be going with the having clause? So for that, I think somebody is on mute. Please check your system so I can give a quick information here. Where clause is that we, whenever we have to execute a row by row, we go with this where clause. So I can just say if it is a row by row condition, I'll go with this where clause. When we will go with the having clause? When we have to go with group by group. I hope now you are getting the differences. You should know this differences majorly, or else you will write the where clause instead of having clause. You will write having clause instead of where clause. Okay, so the other important difference between this is which is used to check condition before grouping. Where clause if you use before grouping only it will check, but if you use having, since it goes group by group, it checks after grouping. This is a major difference which you should know between this where clause and having clause. So here we will not be able to use the major. One more difference I can remember is that we cannot use aggregate function, that is multiple row functions, where in case we can use this multiple row function or aggregate function in the having clause. These are the major difference which we should know between this having and where clause. Okay, so I hope now you have got it, this information, like how or why we should be going with respect to these clauses. If you understand why this where clause or having clause or majorly order by, because initially we didn't understand about these three. So if these three are clear, subquery or the joins are very easy to understand. If this is not clear, then I don't think so that you will be able to understand, because those are lengthy questions. Is this question clear to everyone? Ha. Okay. Let us move on with one more important topic quickly. Next 15 minutes. Pay attention. I don't want anybody's diversions there. Whatever work you're doing, keep it everything aside and just pay attention here. So we all know that in most of the interview question, one major topic or interview question will be on the subqueries, or it is also called as inner queries, or it is also called as nested queries. You would have heard about this. Majorly the subqueries, the term you would have heard. So if you would have observed, we also have something called as for loop, inner for loop, nested for loop in Java. Do you remember that? So how do you basically write there? If in case you are writing for loop like this, the body in this way, if it is true, then only it enters here, and whatever you write inside that will be executed. Suppose that is true. If that is true, I will tell one more time to loop inside. So whenever I say that, what will happen, it will come inside execute again and again. So like this, how many loops you will be writing, you will, according to that it will work. So what you're doing it here, with one loop, within that one more loop you're writing. So whatever output here I'll be getting, that acts as the input for this outer for loop. Means suppose here if it is true, it will be keep on working. Once it becomes false, then only it comes out here and it executes the for loop. The same way, what is that it will happen in the subqueries, inner queries or nested queries is, for subquery, whatever outside one query I will write. So suppose I'll write one query here, and whatever I will write it here, for this, inside of this select, that is inside of this outer query, one set of another set of query I can write it. Whatever I would write it for this, and this returns some value that behaves as a input for the outer query. In other words, what is subquery? Writing multiple queries inside the one another is only called as a subquery or nested query. But along with that, what is that you should understand? Internal query, whatever we have, whatever the output will be there. Suppose this gives the output as 10. That 10 behaves as the input to this outer query. This is how you should know or you should understand here. Suppose if that is the case, then what kind of query will be there? So as a definition says, it is very simple to understand that subqueries, when we have internal queries, input, I mean output will be acting as a input to a outer query. This is the basic understanding. But upon that, how the questions will be asked, one simple quick example we will take, so that based on that we will be solving it. Suppose I'll ask, please write a query to display the last name, first name, please understand the question now, and salary, of all the employees. So I need to print all this information who are earning more than Tendulkar. What is my question? I want to print last name, first name, salary of all the employees. If that was the case, what I'll do? Select, give me, I'll write it in order, first name, last name, and salary from employees, as simple as that. But that is not the question. I should be checking out one thing, which employee is earning more than Tendulkar. So what usually we do, we'll tell where salary is greater than Tendulkar. Is this correct? Check with the comparison. What I am checking, salary, which will be having integer values like this. With that, what I'm checking, the sequence of characters, or I can say string value there. This side one set of data and this side another set of data. This int is greater than string, makes no sense there. And that is what we are asking. Most of you will be doing this mistake without knowing. In hurry, you will start writing it in a interview. Never do that. First, try to understand the query. If that is the case, try to know the output. It says invalid number. What you are asking is different and what I'm getting is different. Correct? The data are not matching. So, in order to write this query, what we will do? We will write one query. There's that question. We will write one query to print such data, this one, who is earning more than Tendulkar. That separate query we will write. So I'll tell select what I want to print, salary. Please understand, I want to print salary. So I'll tell select salary from employees, where what is that I need to compare now? Whose salary more than Tendulkar's salary, right? So Tendulkar is present in which column? Last name. So I can tell, please give me that salary information. Whose salary is, whose last name is equal to Tendulkar. So if I just copy this and I'll execute this information, please observe. What is the output? 24,000. If they would have asked you directly, please give me the output of last name, first name, salary, who is earning more than 24,000, you would have written it easily. But they have not asked you direct question. They have asked you the subquery question. So I have to print last name, first name, salary, who is earning more than Tendulkar. So what I have to be doing it, I have to be printing such value. Just a minute. Sorry for that. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, I was telling that if in case they are asking you for this kind of data, so now we got one output. What they are expecting is more than the salary. So can I tell this way? I should be printing out that information whose salary is greater than 24,000, right? If that is the case, if only Tendulkar, I can print like this. If any other data, I cannot keep and go to the table, then fetch out that particular value and do it. Instead of that, what I'll do, I'll tell directly here, instead of 24,000, I'll make it that this query will do that job. So only I told whatever output I'll get here, that behaves as an input to a outer query. Now this whole query, how it is behaving, this is how I have. And internally, this is giving me the output 24,000. That is acting as an input to this outer query. Let me try to see whether I'll get the output for this. I'll select and run. So you can notice I'm getting such information or employees data who is earning more than Tendulkar's salary. Is that clear to all? Now comes the challenge. Since you have understood the subquery, most of the interview questions will be in subqueries only. All these days, whatever you understand about about the operators functions, they are just basic knowledge to you. Interview questions will be on this topic called as subqueries, 90% of the question. So what I'll do today, I'll post 10 questions. All are subqueries. It takes one question minimum 5 minutes. You have to analyze the question and do it. First, initial 2-3 question, easy question only I'll give. Post that, I want everybody to solve it with much more attention by understanding the question. The moment you see the question, you will feel it is easy. Okay, something you do and you'll get the output, but that will not be a correct output. So I want your complete attention to solve those 7 questions which I sent after 3. That is, there are totally 10 questions. 3 will be easy. Rest 7 will be, you should use your brain to solve it. Those 10 questions, if you solve, the subqueries are easy. Anyway, let them ask an interview. I'll write it and give, you will answer it. If you make mistake, you will correct it now only, so that in easy way you can solve it in the interview. Okay. So the next topic tomorrow, first for 10-15 minutes, I'll quickly rush with the interview. I mean, this whatever assignment question today I'll give. Tomorrow I'll discuss that for first 10 minutes, because I wanted to explain few things. If you would have done or if you would have not done, it's okay. You will understand. If you have done, it would be a kind of revision tomorrow for the assignment question. After that, next important topic, joins, we will be understanding. So joins is very easy. You will be thinking that, okay, ma'am, in interview they asked join question, it was difficult for me. Ma'am, interview that question was difficult for me. But I'm telling you, joins are the easiest topic in the entire this SQL. You go for any database, Oracle, MySQL, whatever. Joins are very much easy. With the diagrams, which whatever I'll explain in the first initial class, that is a basement of every joins question. What they're asking, understand which type of joins you have to do, understand, write a query. Simple. Only 3 steps which I teach, that if you follow, any question they ask on the joins, you will be able to do it. All these days you are thinking that, okay, subquery also difficult, but now don't you think it is easy only to write? If you understand question part by part, if you divide it 100%, you can write it. If you don't give work to your brain, queries cannot be written. It is something like same like programming. Programming also will not come with like just by hearting. You should practice the output and just write it. Same way here also. You should require some usage of your brain. Okay. So by this I can say, and one more thing I want to demonstrate. Please pay attention here. Let me just copy this data. If you want to save it, you can save it. I hope that I have told you that if you want to save, you can save the query and keep. Save it. If you do, it will ask what is that. This is nothing but subqueries, and also what is clauses, like this I'll tell. Batch. Save. If I save, it will be there in my system forever until I delete. So next time if I open this database, I can click on this and view that. Okay, so that is one. Again, all these days, how did you understand to create a table? We went to this, written a command, and then created a table for that respective columns and all that. Here we have one more easiest way. we can directly go with the object browser. First only if I show this, no, you would have not created the table. Rather, you would have directly used this. No, you should know both the ways. Again, which would be used if you're not into a database field, 100% you will be going with the object browser. Sometimes you have to generate a query. All that time we will be going with this object browser. You can also see this query builder, all that. So leaving all that aside, first let us see how to create a table in the easiest way. So I'll just go to object browser. Can you see? After creating a table, you can check which are the table and all. But now I'm telling create. What to create? I want to create a table. So once I tell this, you can notice it will ask, what is a table name you want to create? So initially for this also you wrote a query, create table name, all that, right? To create table name and all. Now directly it is asking. So I would now tell, please create a table, sample June batch. Like this I'll tell. Ma'am, uppercase only, it is up to you. If you click on this preserve case, every time you should give like this only. If you change the case, it will not give you the output. So I'm not clicking on that. Next comes column name. What is a column name I want to give? I'll tell ID. What is a data type? All these are there. So you need not worry about all this. Number, varchar, please concentrate on that. I'll tell number in place of integer value. And what is a precision and the scale? Need not worry as of now. Then I'll go with the name. Select the data type, varchar2. Scale again neglected, not required. You had one more constraint, right? Not null. If you click on this, not null will be by default selected. Whatever value you insert, it would be accepting only if it is not null. Okay. If you don't click on this, even the null will be accepted. Then maybe age number, like this. Maybe I'll tell DOB, date of birth, date, like this. Okay. And then I'll tell next. It is asking, do you want to have the primary key here populated from a new sequence? Means from 1, 2, 3 it goes on, or any existing sequence if you have, from that only it will continue. So no, I don't want a primary. I'm not setting it as of now. I'll tell next. Do you want to have any foreign key in this? I'm not selecting anything as of now. If you want, I have to give that reference table. And then I'll tell next. You want to have the unique constraint. I'm not clicking on that. So I'll proceed and I'll tell finish. So again, it will confirm. Do you want to create it? Yes, I want it to be created. So if I just tell like this, you can notice here the table has been created. What it has, this is the information. It has any data? No data. You want to insert the data? Click here, insert row. Whatever name, ID, date of birth, all such information you can give. I'll quickly give the information. For 25 minutes, what is that I have to enter? Okay, randomly I'll just give. So if I give this information, I'll tell create and create another, means it will give me one more step of solution here to, screen here, so that I can enter one more data. If I just tell create, only one row it will accept. So I'll tell create and create the data. So it's see row created, one more information. So I'll tell now ID2, name, date of birth, so avoid that logical errors there. So I'll just tell create. So once I clicked on that create, can you notice that it stopped? It directly went here. I want to edit the data directly, you can edit it here. I'll go back. Still the manipulation, all that commands alter, all this still we don't know here. So I'm not editing anything here. Here also I'm not touching it. You can still modify here, only rename, drop, all this information we have here, options we have, easily we can do it here. But first you understand how to do in the commands, that by writing a query. Later you can still go with this. Okay, this is one way which I wanted to show you to everyone. You can still explore this, try to explore later. Once we complete understanding about the basic queries, all the queries and all, you can utilize this to create it quickly and learn the queries. Okay. So today your job is that to complete the assignment and also to just explore this way of creating the table. Yes, hope that whatever we have discussed is clear to all. Have a great night tomorrow, as it is at 7 o'clock. Will start this session. So she's asking that I have to. Ulavish Arimani is asking, should we have to solve question in this? No, this is not a question. This is only the way to create a table, alternative way, which I have shown. Without using the query, we have created a table. Okay, one way I have shown. With the table, whatever we have already created, from that only the questions will be framed. A good resume, what content mentioned resume and LinkedIn? Okay, you're asking about the resume. Resume session is not done. Okay, then maybe if possible, I'll give some inputs tomorrow. You can plan accordingly. I'll also ask Ashu sir to arrange one session based on to prepare your profiles. That would actually help you to create a proper resumes. Okay. Fine then, guys. Let's meet tomorrow. Have a great night. Till then, yeah, take care then. I'll wind up for today. Thank you.